Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I imagine that this will be fun trying to, oh, Jesus.
On the spot, like trying to think of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we have stuff to talk about. It's just a strange process of coming up with the thing.
Yeah.
But we never really know, right?
No, not really.
It kind of devolves or
it
evolves.
Yeah. Sometimes a little bit of both
Yeah.
at the same time.
I think it's more of an evolution than a de-evolution. For example, our pirate voice that took off into Armagard Garsbarmps or whatever that was.
I think that's an evolution for us.
Yeah.
But for anybody else or anything else.
I'd say mankind, just to know it's possible.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, so earlier we were talking about plants.
Yes.
And if mainly this plant that's right up here, Robert Plant is the name that it was given by Nick, thankfully. And I asked if we had the opportunity to name every plant in the house, would we name them all Robert? Possibly, but possibly not. So if we had a cactus, it would be Cactus Jack. The great mankind fully.
That's the other persona. I was talking about him the other day to some coworkers because we were talking about old school wrestlers. I was trying to describe this wrestler to one of my coworkers. And he had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, yeah, come on. He was Mick Foley, Mankind. He had the sock puppet with like the mandible claw. And then there was like a third one. It was Cactus Jack, but I don't remember what Cactus Jack looks like or what his thing was, what his shtick was.
I'll tell you in just a second. But are you ready for something extra?
Yeah.
He was also Dude Love.
All right. Give me the rundown on Cactus Jack first, and then I want to hear all about Dude Love.
Okay, so strangely, I've said this before, and I actually said it to, I believe, a 7 or 8 year old. But I think that I could talk more about professional wrestling than anything else ever. Maybe that's not true anymore. This was a little while ago, but I'd like to think so. Anyway, Cactus Jack he dressed like a white trash nanny who rolled out of a trailer wearing black leggings and a black cutoff shirt that has a wanted sign with Mick Foley's face. He'd walk out and he'd say, "Bang, bang." And that was kind of his thing. He'd do pile drivers, and
he actually wrestled as this character,
as
or was it like a backstage persona?
As all of them.
Wow.
He actually won Royal Rumble. He came in as all of them.
How does that work?
He
just have a little bit of each.
Just toss his ass out, and then he changes clothes and comes back in later.
I thought you meant all at once. Came swinging.
I wish. Just different up top, different midsection, different outfit on the bottom.
Yeah.
All right. I don't need us to talk about Mick Foley all day here, but I just need to say it's so funny that professional wrestling really tries to sell things as being real when it's like clearly not. Because when Cactus Jack would come out, not Mankind, not Mick Foley, not Dude Love, but when Cactus Jack his music would play or he'd walk out, Triple H would cower in fear. It's like, come on, dude.
Just the one character. He was scared of one of his personas.
Yeah. Cactus Jack, yeah.
So what was Dude Love all about?
He just wore a tie-dye and said shit like
a hippie, like an old hippie kind of thing?
Yeah. It was more. Oh. It was just as bad as that was, I think.
Yeah.
Not that was bad, but
it was bad.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know
It's
what I'm talking
half-baked.
about, then, well, maybe next time.
When we get that third mic.
Yeah. Well, we have a third mic and a fourth mic, actually, so we could fart in stereo. Hit him with a pan. Hit him with a pan.
Hit him with the bedpan.
Hit him with the bedpan, yeah. Stone Cold. So I guess this is a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, it is now.
All of a sudden, that's what. Yeah. I haven't watched wrestling though in a long time.
When was the last time?
I don't think at all since we've lived out here. So
Yeah,
I would say it's probably been a good 6 or 7 years. I want to say I gave up on it like a while before the move. Really, Shawn Michaels retired, and I was pretty adamant about giving up at that point. So
yeah. Is the Undertaker still in it?
I don't actually know. Brock Lesnar beat him at WrestleMania. That's really kind of the last I heard about it. I don't know.
I feel like Shawn Michaels should have beat him and they both retire.
Wow.
That's what should have happened.
Yeah.
The second time. Like, Shawn Michaels loses the first time, comes back second time, dressed in all white, I think.
He was, and it was dope. That was really cool. I agree, but The Undertaker has done it differently for a while. He would only wrestle at WrestleMania, pretty much, at least as far as I can remember. Like, he wasn't on Raw every Monday or anything. He would just take a ton of time off and fight once.
That's a pretty
wrestle.
sweet gig.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just show up and
to
never lose.
right. Yeah, and when he did, it was like seen as a conspiracy or something. So, yeah, I don't know,
it's all scripted. How can it be a conspiracy?
Well, the rumor is that it wasn't scripted.
Yeah.
Like, Brock banged up Undertaker for real and pinned him to win. So, which could be possible because Brock Lesnar is a monster. So if he really wanted to, he could pin anybody in the WWE, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Might get a few lawsuits from the Divas, though. Can't be pinning them willy-nilly.
Just at the company picnic.
F5, F5.
God damn it, Brock. You fucked up another picnic.
What do you think it would be like if Jerry the King Lawler and good old JR commentated hardcore porn?
I would watch even more porn than I already do. I would shamelessly watch it in the living room with the stereo on full blast. My God!
Stone Cold.
She's got 4 in her now. She's dead.
She's never seen competition this size. He's going for the belt.
My God. In all my years, I've never seen such a shellacking. This could play into our theory that Jerry the King Lawler is the world's best puppeteer.
That's true.
Have his hand up JR's ass. Jerry's hand isn't the only.
Giving him that adhesive liquid.
I'll tell you what, there's more than one hand up a butt in this room right now.
He's been dead for 25 years. No, it'd be, I've been dead for 25 years. He's a marionette. Jerry the King is just like making him make his barbecue from Kansas City barbecue or whatever.
All right, so when Jerry Lawler gets to be JR's age, when we came up with this theory, who is going to have their hand up his butt?
Oh.
Who do you think?
You see, it's not an age thing. JR had a stroke, so when Jerry has
Because
a stroke,
he's old.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so who's gonna have their hand up?
I
his
say
butt?
Bruce Buffer.
Whoa, but Bruce is the same age or near the same age.
I don't think Bruce will die.
Do you
Or
think
age.
Bruce will start controlling his brother Michael Buffer?
Who's Michael Buffer?
He's the one who announces the boxing matches famously.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've
I don't
never
think he
seen
jumps
or
in
heard
spoons.
this.
Oh, yes. You have.
Have I?
He's, yeah, like famous for
For how long has he been
announcing-
doing it?
boxing.
Since like the 80s or something.
Yeah, a long time.
Damn.
And the weird thing is they were separated for a long time. I saw an interview with Bruce. He talked about how he didn't know his brother Michael until they were like 40 or something.
Really?
And yet here they are both announcing for
That-
fighting sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I would have assumed that it was just a family thing, and that's how they both got into it,
Yeah.
as like a dynamic brotherly duo of some kind
That would make
of
sense.
announcing and yelling.
That would make sense, but it also doesn't make sense, you know, because like how do you just happen to have that voice? And then also how does your brother happen to have that voice? Like I don't feel like it's just a business that you choose to go into, right? Maybe it is. Maybe it
Good
is.
call.
Do we train our voices to announce like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would assume you could.
Maybe that'll be a challenge for later on in these episodes
We
is
could.
to announce.
We could spend a minute practicing each episode.
Oh,
When we get to like the 12-minute mark, like, it's time.
oh man, I really like that. Maybe. Well, we'll certainly need to perfect it before we can put any sort of intro song, because it would only make sense if we thank you.
Yeah.
Announce ourselves over whatever intro music is on there. Ooh, I should have said this at the beginning.
You could just pay Bruce Buffer to do it. Can't you go online and
You can,
have
$100.
There you go.
Do you think we could use that again? Like for public
Maybe
use? That would be dope.
we could
So-
work our way around the law and find a little loophole and have Bruce announce the loophole in our
Whoa.
intro. Whatever loophole that might be, we have to find it.
Bruce has to find it.
We're gonna pay him an extra $20 to find the loophole.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce, get digging.
He's going to be really the only person who doesn't want us to use it, probably commercially, but
Find a loophole
pay him to
so
do
we
the
can
research.
exploit your talent.
Yeah.
Your one.
Here's an extra
Unholy
$20.
talent.
Just say okay, and we'll move on. Yeah, we should probably start a GoFundMe for that $100 or something.
Yeah, probably wouldn't take long.
No.
Maybe
Probably not.
some, I don't know, rich millionaire out there just randomly sees ours. Be like, yeah,
Wow.
Sure.
How interesting would that be? Just some dude looking for lip action.
yeah. It's like I'll throw in an extra $100 if you get him to say my name too, or a separate one.
Oh, nice.
But then I don't know why he
yeah.
wouldn't just go do it himself.
Yeah, that's true. That would be a way better idea.
Nah.
Okay. Good point. Yeah, so I wanted to bring this up at the beginning, and I forgot to bring it up at the beginning, but that's okay. I was going to say because...
Dad? In the very beginning. In the beginning. There were two buffers, but they didn't know one another.
He started announcing and talking about wrestling. Okay. So I was going to say, I was like, I've been messing around with the GarageBand for the iPhone, free. And I don't update my phone.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that I'm missing a lot of the ooh-op good stuff that could be on there now.
Yeah.
With that said, I would like to extend to anyone who's listening or cares to watch or has free time to make a song that's about 20 seconds on GarageBand if you'd like, or any other music making platform, and send it to us.
Yeah, whatever theme or genre you're feeling,
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll field it and we'll say thanks.
We'll definitely.
We won't
say
give
thanks.
you credit though.
Yeah, we're gonna take all the credit. Actually, you know what? Send in all your artwork, and we'll just take all the credit for that. Just kidding. But really, if you have like any artwork, I think I can. I'm no guru. Actually, I have no idea what I'm doing with putting film and audio together, but I think I can figure it out. But I would imagine I could cut in photos.
Maybe that could be the name of the podcast. Taking all the credit.
Whoa. Nice.
takingallthecredit.com. .ru. It's probably cheaper for a Russian website.
Dude, yeah. Thefunroom.org is like $12. Thefunroom.com is $2,400. So, yeah. We'll just leave that one in the dust. But
somebody else can have that. You're welcome.
Yeah, and I mean, once we once we actually have some sort of name, I imagine that might influence some of the music or artwork that comes this way. But hey, if you want to put anything together or silently rap, like absolutely silently, where it's just the music,
that would be fucking sweet.
Yeah, if you could just put some kick and some snare to that.
some mouth noise.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm just trying to start a new show like America's Got Scat.
That can't be a primetime slot because people are going to tune into that expecting one thing. Like, all right, where's all the shit?
Hey, I'll give you a primetime slot. Oh, shit.
America's Got Scat would be a great show, though. And like one guy just shows up for auditions, super confused, just covered in shit. Like, wait, I thought this was America's Got Scat. Everybody else is zirap-bop-me-rap-a-da. This guy just walks in covered in shit. Oh, here we go.
Okay, so if you couldn't tell by now, then you probably, well, if you're watching a video of this, then you definitely realized that at one point the video cut out. That is because my battery died and I'm not a professional. However, there's a chance that this could be audio only, and if that is the case, then joke's on both of us. So we left off with America's Got Scat. Fantastic. We had our giggles, and if I think another thing that we want to point out, if it hasn't been noticed already, is our fantastically wooden furniture.
We're going to start a GoFundMe page for that, too, for less squeaky furniture.
Yeah, and
or if
can we do that?
If you really like it, we can just leave the squeaky furniture, and we can start a GoFundMe page for squeakier furniture.
Wow. Or better microphones to catch more of the squeak.
Yes.
Yeah. People nowadays tend to like the ASMR stuff. You know? Yeah. You get those ASMR squeaks. I'll work them with the vocals. You get the motion in the ocean. That's right, Genuine. Raining squeaks. Okay, so if any of you are still with us, yeah, I actually don't know if, can you make a GoFundMe for anything? Like anything you want money for?
Sure.
It's pretty interesting. I don't know if anyone, it's a weird thing. It's like I would feel bad asking somebody for money for better chairs. But at the same time,
people want to.
If you want to, because I'll be honest, I don't think either Nick or I are looking to replace these chairs with our own money anytime soon. So
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
my wallet is okay with that chair.
Yeah, and I think the positivity, the ASMR positivity that I feel from you squeaking or me squeaking or the table squeaking or the 316 clock just being old and wooden. Yeah, I don't see a need for a change. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, if you notice the squeak, that's what's squeaking. It's our furniture, and maybe not the best soundproof studio, but yeah, again, I mean, just reiterate, so many people hitting up that ASMR, looking at people whispering, people clanging pots and pans. That's our game, by the way.
We started that 10 years ago. There's a video floating around there somewhere on the internet. Hopefully it's still there.
It has to be. I believe it's on Facebook. I believe at least that short clip of the slave name. Yeah.
So what? That was our first apartment.
It was our first apartment. This is
at the point.
How long ago?
10 years ago. Yeah.
10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 years this fall.
10 years ago, we lived in an apartment where most of the residents got beat up.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, that was the first. I lived in the dorm for freshman year of undergraduate college. Outside of that was the first apartment, like the first solo living experience. Yeah. Not solo, with 3 other dudes or 2 other dudes in a fun room.
Guardianless living situation.
Yeah. Yes. That was a good time.
Great. And we lucked out with neighbors.
We really lucked out with neighbors.
We had some really tolerant neighbors
next to us and below us. They were just as hardcore.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying we're hardcore, but they were rowdy. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
We were pretty fucking loud.
We were definitely loud. I guess we were loud. We've come a long way. Those days we would wear our winter coat inside
because we didn't want to pay for heat.
Yeah, and how minimal that would have been for the torture.
But we stayed warm with alcohol.
That's true. Rich and Rare, by the way. If you want to sponsor our podcast, I don't know if I can say with confidence that I 100% believe in your product, but
anymore. But at one point in time.
But at one point,
the majestic dolphin piss was all that there was.
The majestic dolphin piss is a combination of that sweet, sweet A&W root beer. Ooh, 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 ooh. And way too much R&R. And if you're a real piece of work, you'll put some ice cubes in there. Majestic dolphin piss fueled me. I probably literally had a blood transfusion where it just left my body and replaced with majestic dolphin piss.
Yeah. I'm surprised we never filled up a bathtub with that stuff. We just went for a nice dip.
When Rich and I were living together.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if you saw the video, but it was so funny. We got one of those, gigantic bottles of champagne, just like the way too ridiculous bottles of champagne.
I remember this video.
But videos of each other pouring the champagne on one of another's head.
Just 2 single dudes.
2 single dudes.
Just living together. No other roommates.
Yeah. Laying in the tub. Okay, so for example, there's a video of me laying in a tub and Rich, I believe it's me laying in a tub. Maybe it's Rich laying in the tub. One of us is laying in a tub and the other one is pouring champagne atop the other's head. One of us in the tub is eating grapes. So it's quite a spectacle.
Well, I guess I never really heard much of the backstory on this. I just remember seeing the video and hearing about it. What inspired this? Were you watching rap videos from like the early 2000s? You're like, wow, I want to know what that feels like.
Luckily, I have an answer for you. I remember quite vividly. which may be surprising with the rest of the information that'll come with the story. But at the time, I was into turning glass bottles into bongs. Ridiculous glass bottles.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Not
that.
me in particular, but I would find ridiculous glass bottles and I would give them to the shop. If you're in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and you're on Westnedge downtown, it is called Puffin Stuff. Also next to Taco Bob's. So I believe the guy's name is Brandon. So anyway, if you're around there, say what's up to him. But yeah, for like $30, he would turn any glass bottle into a bong. And I just thought it was hilarious. So I
Didn't
got
you
the
have, like,
biggest
a-
champagne bottle I could find.
Nice. Didn't you have like a milk jug too? Like an old milk, like glass gallon milk bottle?
Oh, I don't know if I had one because you gave me the one in Chicago.
Oh,
when I
yeah,
came to
Oberweis.
visit, and I
Yeah.
turned this.
I was thinking about that
Oh
that
my
night the other day
God.
because
Good memory, dude.
I bought a bottle of chocolate milk the other day. And it was the first one I had bought in a long ass time, and it was reminding me of all the times that we used to go out. And I feel like every grocery run we ever ran on, we always came back with a gallon of chocolate milk, and that shit was gone by the end of the night.
Oh yeah.
And I remember when you came to Chicago to visit me, and I was so stoked because I had found this place, this like ice cream place, and they had like the best chocolate milk I'd ever had in my life. And I was so excited for you to try it. But I remember we had been out all night drinking, and we got back to my weird, smelly apartment.
Weird roommate you had then too.
Yeah, very weird. Craigslist. I just remember being so excited to share this milk with you. And
You, dude.
and I didn't have any clean glasses at the time. They're all like dirty in the sink, so I'm like sitting there like just fucking pissed drunk and like scrubbing this glass. And I go to rinse it off when I pour up a glass of chocolate milk for Eli and I hand it to you. And I'm like so proud and so happy, and like I'm so excited for you to try this chocolate milk. You're like, tastes like dish soap. Like, yeah, bro, it's the fucking best.
Well, you got that Dawn flavored chocolate milk. Awesome, bro.
It's good for rubbing on oil-covered ducklings.
I remember though, I got that jar, and I drank out of it. I'm pretty sure I
I
actually.
think we just resorted to just drinking straight out of it.
Yeah, I have a Facebook memory that popped up very recently, actually, that said, "Finished a gallon of chocolate milk on the train ride back from Chicago." So I'm guessing it was
That's all
that
there is to
gallon.
do.
It could not have been. It could have been another gallon of chocolate milk. But man, I just had no idea what I was doing to myself as far as all of that chocolate sugar. But
Yeah.
that was great. Just letting loose, letting my
Boy.
hair down, slamming sea milk. Yeah, those were the good days. But I think, I think my favorite bong that I had made out of a ridiculous piece of glass was hard. It's kind of hard to describe. Maybe I shouldn't have started trying, but it's a piece of artistic, decorative accoutrement that you would see in a lot of, probably a lot of middle-aged white ladies' kitchens. Essentially, it's a jar that'll have like one section has oranges in some liquid, maybe vinegar or something, in a bottle, and it'll be like one section's
yeah.
oranges, one
Usually
section's
kinda like
cut up.
curved and-
Yeah, and I had this dope one that was like a bubble on the bottom and one off to the side and one off to the side. The thing just looked really cool, and it had grip angles for days, but yeah. Anyway, I don't have any of that anymore.
What happened to all those? They get farved.
Wow. They should have. That would have been a nice homage, but we were out of there by then. I just gifted them. I gave them away, as with most of that stuff, when I moved out here. But yeah, should have farved them.
Should have sold it back to that guy that made them. $100.
That would have been the best way to deal with that.
Just make $70 off of them.
Question though, dude. What's the favorite item you ever farved? And feel free to explain what farving is.
I'll start with my favorite, and then we'll explain.
But also, I'm not sure how detailed we should go into the farving explanation for the sake of what it was. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. Never mind. Continue. But wait, I'm just kidding.
There's more. I can only really recall two major items. I only threw one of them. One of my favorites is one that you threw. It was your rickety tower fan that always just would fall over in the middle of the night and it would just blow cold air at the ground.
Yeah, it had an issue with the alignment with the base. So it had some piece broken, so it would just lean over. Yeah.
I remember you being so fed up with it one night, and every time we did this, we were always pretty well on our way to 2-3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah, I got a quick question though. Do you think that fan was too cool? Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, so we'd be pretty drunk.
Too cool for school. Yeah, the only one I really remember. I mean, we threw plenty of glass bottles, and somebody farved a wicker chair for me. Some strangers. Yes. We could talk about that.
A rocker. Was it a rocker?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
it was that, or yeah, it was a rocking chair. The only one I really remember doing myself was my Xbox.
Mm-hmm. That's up there. That's probably my favorite as well.
And just so it's clear, I'm not like some spoiled rich white kid.
Exactly. Yes.
It had the red ring of death.
Yeah.
I was planning on replacing it. I wasn't just throwing some shit out that my parents bought for me.
The Xbox 360 was as dead as it could be.
So we decided to get a little more use out of it.
Just gonna offer you some water. But
okay.
There's none in there. Okay. Well. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What's on my body now.
Okay, Mr. Hydration.
I remember this Xbox came into play after it got the red ring of death, and it was just sitting in my room, and I was saving up for another one. And at some point, I don't know if we had people over or if it was just us drinking or what it was, but in my cross-eyed stupor, I look into my room, and there it is, just beckoning to be thrown off of a third-floor balcony, which was ours. And
it's the white version too, right?
Yeah.
That's very nice.
I threw that sumbitch down to where we threw things. There, it was a little bit lower. It wasn't just 3 stories. There was another lot over that went down another like 10 feet. So it was kind of like throwing it like 4 or 5 stories down.
Yeah,
which was really satisfying.
Yeah. Onto concrete, by the way.
I just remembered something else that we used to do. I'm gonna try my best. Grapes. Remember grapes.
I never forget grapes. I was just talking to somebody about throwing grapes at a wall.
But I remember when I threw that Xbox. Yeah. We were really disappointed because nothing happened the first time.
Pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah. I just wish the rest of it was as well built as the outside.
Right. The internals could have matched the external. That'd be nice.
So we ran down there, and we brought it back up, and we threw it a second time, and it fucking exploded everywhere.
Yeah, I think the first one was just the loose sitting up, but it did look pretty intact.
Should have plugged it in to see if maybe that fixed anything.
Yeah.
Probably not.
But I think the ultimate fix was tossing it another time.
Made us feel better.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. Those are pretty much the items that I remember. The big chair, I remember the tower fan, I remember the Xbox, and a lot of glasses.
Another one. I remember when we were tailgating for a football game, and I tried to make vodka watermelon.
Oh,
and one of them turned out okay because there was only a little bit of vodka in it.
The watermelon.
And the second one ended up soaking up an entire bottle. And we cut it open, and it was just like soup on the inside. So we took it back to the apartment, and we just threw it off the balcony. Again, probably its best use.
So where all of these items ended up That had to be such a confusing
Oh, yeah.
scene for anybody to just find these objects either scattered around in this area. I mean, for the most part, we threw a lot of the stuff away. We would make the trip down, pick up the stuff we tossed out. Yeah. I mean, I guess we were aiming.
Our aim was so good.
We were aiming
There was
for
a dumpster down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we lived where a balcony was about 4 stories, 5 stories higher than a dumpster. So we would aim for the dumpster, and we called it Brett Favre. We would throw perfect spirals of any object. We had friends come over. They Brett Favre'd. I mean, shouts out to number 4.
Yeah.
You know?
Big time. We really should have invested in some Wrangler jeans. Also, if Wrangler jeans would like to sponsor this podcast, feel free.
Yeah.
I will. I've been wearing Levi's for the past, 10 years, but they do get a little itchy sometimes. So if Wrangler wants to hook it up, then I'll fart into a different pair of denim.
Can they
with all due
withstand?
respect.
Yeah. I'll hold that thought. I am going to reset this camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Brett Favre is a legend. Him and those jeans.
ASM Favre. It's our new ASMR channel. We only have 4 subscribers, though.
Soon we'll have 5, but we'll delete 1, so it's always 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always 4.
It'll always be 4. The most exclusive ASMR channel. Only 4. We're 2 of them. Our own personal accounts.
Yeah. And I'm actually the other 2 also. On scrub accounts, so. We are our only fans. You know, that's actually kind of true right now. That
At
we
this
are.
very moment, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not much of a fan.
yeah, me neither. I actually don't like this at all. Just kidding.
This sucks.
Yeah, no, because I don't know. That's a weird thing to say, fan. Like, I guess our friends are our fans. Is that fair to say? Like, not necessarily because we're doing this, but just in general.
Only because we pay them.
Yeah. But how much do you pay them?
I'm on it's more of like a commission-based thing.
Okay.
It's like I pay them,
If they like your photo or something on
Right.
Facebook or something.
That's a certain amount.
Okay.
Come pick me up.
Mm.
That's a certain amount. I'll come pick you up. That's a certain amount.
Right.
Wash my ass. Watch me wash my ass.
Oh,
Different amounts.
dude. Was I? Oh, no. I was talking to Garrett about this. Oh, this is fantastic. And thank you for saying wash your ass, because I believe that's what started it the last time I had this conversation. Do you remember in Mr. Deeds when the dude's playing tennis and he comes into the showers afterward? He meets the guy in the showers, and he's just
like the rich, well-to-do white guy with like the eyebrows and the. Do you have a mustache?
yeah, the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he comes into the bathroom and the dude who wants him to meet in there with the dirt on Deeds, he's just soaping his ass nonstop, just rubbing his ass. The guy's like, something like, some very interesting information. And stop soaping your ass.
Who thought to put that in?
I don't know, dude.
That's a very Adam Sandler thing
I know,
for
but
that time.
the magic is to I could pull this out and play the clip, but it's okay. I was like, damn, this shit is so funny, and Garrett didn't remember that part, so I got on YouTube and I was like, Deeds soap ass, and there you go, 30-second clip of
That's all
exactly
you
what I
need.
needed. Like, yep.
Yeah.
Somebody else knows. But the work it took for me to reference it and to find the video, so much easier than the person who clipped that video to put it online so that I could find it.
And thank God for those kind of people that go out of their way to make sure that we can enjoy these little clips, these little moments from all these different movies that we love so much and we can remind our friends with.
I agree, but also
the real MVP.
But also no, you know? Like,
what do you mean?
Find something else to do with your time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that I got to see that, but also I think I'd be happier if well, I don't know. Whatever. If that's your thing.
I think that would be a redeeming quality of somebody that we would normally run into in normal life. Like, wow, that person fucking sucks. And it's probably those people that go home and do that. So
yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's what because I have my different like strategies and tactics for dealing with difficult people in public, especially strangers.
Okay.
Usually just strangers.
Could you give me an example?
Like the other day, I was coming down Main Street here, and I was taking a left into the grocery store there.
Okay.
And this guy was like trying to take a left out onto Main Street, and the only thing standing his way was me. And there was oncoming traffic, and I thought they were too close. He didn't, so he starts pulling out into the road, and I'm like, I'm not going. And then he starts fucking like flipping me off and like getting pissed off at me because I didn't go.
Wow, so he just wanted to bank on you going so that he could scoot out. Wow.
And I didn't go.
Right.
And he got pissed off at me, and I was like, whatever.
But I mean, also, if you were to make that turn, you would have been the one to get hit,
right?
Not him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't really understand his logic, and he was really upset. But, you know, at that time, I was like, maybe the guy's having a rough day. I'm not going to, like, get into it with him. I'm not going to get mad.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll never see you again. But now, I think what I'll be doing is, like, you know what? That guy's probably going to go home later and make a little clip from Austin Powers that I want to watch later.
You're right, dude. Start giving those people thumbs up. And if you could replace your car horn with a tug horn, and I don't know, that might make them smile back.
Yeah. I wish I could just get like Rodney Dangerfield jokes to come out when I push the horn.
Oh my God, yeah. No respect at all, or whatever.
A quick one-liner from like George Carlin or somebody like that.
Yeah. Something better than the nonsense.
Or the hair, crazy. The sound of Robin Williams' hair rustling in the wind on his forearms. I wish that could come out of my car horn. Get the fuck out of the way.
It's so calming. It is the soundscape that I choose to sleep to.
I should go.
I should calm down.
I should.
Man. But wait, my ice cream's melting.
I shouldn't have cut that guy off.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about traffic nonstop, but it is just bizarre how everyone feels like they need to be everywhere yesterday.
Yeah. That's why I don't mind working the hours that I work, because I don't have to deal with that shit. The earliest I ever go into work is like 10 in the morning.
Yeah, that's got to be nice.
And going home from work. Well, it's not that bad. It's usually cops everywhere at midnight, but
I hit the nonsense both ways. Way too much traffic. I mean, not way too much traffic, I guess, but it's unpleasant.
An unpleasant amount of traffic.
Yeah. It just adds to the time of the...
Is there such a thing as a pleasant amount of traffic? I guess it would be none.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the cap? What could still be pleasurable?
Ooh, 6 limos every 50 feet.
666 limos.
Yeah, I don't know, but whatever. I guess that's why we have private jets now, to get us from our house to where we work 20 minutes away.
We do.
Yes.
We do.
Park it out in the garage.
Yeah.
Yep. Just boot it up and down the driveway runway.
Just like our favorite video games.
The Wright brothers. Super double Wright brother dragons.
Orville and what was the other guy's name?
Redenbacher.
Damn it. You're right.
Uh,
Wilbur?
Man, both of those names sound like cartoon. Well,
Yeah.
it's probably something like Arthur and SpongeBob. I think it was
Or Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin Wright.
Orville right and left right.
We all know who the favorite child was and who actually invented the flying machine.
Right. Yeah, the other one was just a crash test dummy.
He was the guy to stand in front of the propeller to see how dangerous it was. The first recorded song ever.
Oh, man.
One of the Wright brothers crashing the first plane into the ground. Later to be rediscovered 80 years later
Sampled
by the crash test
Tiesto.
dummies. Here's the sound.
Skrillex was on the
The Wright brothers crashing their first plane. Oh my god, it's so sad.
Gonna crash this plane right now.
Or fucking love trance. Transcontinental.
Does anyone say that? Is that a real sentence?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe in Europe or something.
We're in yeah, probably just Europe.
Probably. Give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll just say Germany.
Yeah.
Not even Europe, yeah. We'll give it the doubt of the benefit instead.
Maybe like where France and Germany meet.
High tension area.
Yes.
Still.
The Maginot Line.
Ooh.
That's where people say, I fucking love trance.
What is that called? Is that what that defense line was called in between? Really? Dang. I feel like it was something else, but then my brain just kept saying Treaty of Versailles, and I just had to drop it.
I think that was after World War One, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or
You would
no.
have to ask my history teacher in 11th grade.
It's been a
but I
while,
was
yeah.
bored to death.
Sorry, Mr. Moon.
And I'm even more sorry because I don't remember her name, but I remember that she looked like Bowser from Mario. I don't know. That's just, I wasn't the only one to observe this. So
Not the first, definitely not the last.
you know what? And I can only assume that at that time when I was wearing flower printed vests,
Yeah.
like not like cool flower printed vests, but like
Thrift store.
you beat up a grandma on Easter and you yanked this vest off of her, and then I'd wear it to school. So I can only imagine she had things to say about me too. So, and she was not nice, so I don't feel bad about calling her Bowser. I could go way harder on her, but we don't want to see how this.
That's what this
sausage is made.
podcast is all about. 13-year grudges against high school history teachers.
And you know what?
You know what else?
When I was in 9th grade, it took 6 days to watch Schindler's List, and that's trauma. And my teacher, I don't
Kept
remember her
watching the
name
same
either,
part.
but she would say Washington, D.C., and ooh.
My grandma does that.
Well, your grandma can catch a flying knee from Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I'm so sorry.
She's the only person I know that says, well, I guess like her side of the family as well. I've met a couple of them, and they say that too. But they're the only people I've ever met that actually say that. What dialect is that? What part of the country says that?
Far south.
Shout out John Leguizamo.
Yeah, the pest, what up? Aries Spears. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. I don't know if that's a if that's a location thing or what.
We should have a laptop right here to look up these sort of things, to answer the questions that need be answered.
We could. You know what? I don't know about yours, but throw that in the GoFundMe as well, because I've got some laptops that suck. I'm actually a little nervous about trying to put this together because my laptop is so bad and old and slow. But we'll see.
As long as mine is plugged in for the duration, it'll be fine. I mean, I can have it off the charger for like 20 minutes, half hour. It'll be all right.
Mine literally, when it's on and plugged in, it says you need a new battery. Even when it's plugged in, it gives me the X. So, but that's, I don't think that's 100% the reason why it's so slow. I think that's more because it's just an old piece. But yeah, I would love to have a better computer to work on this stuff. That's like something I thought about doing instead of getting another gaming console. Like the next time one comes out, getting like a gaming PC. Yeah. Just so that I could also use it as a very powerful computer. But yeah, it would be nice to have a computer or something over here you could Google stuff on, and I can play fart noises through our recorder. I thought about pulling that one away. Never. Dude, I gotta tell you, I don't have to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. Recently I watched this live performance Alanis Morissette put on recently.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on Howard Stern's show. And she sang, what's her?
You ought to know.
Yes. Wow. You're gay. You ought to know. Yes. And it was actually quite epic. So anyone listening to this, finish this up and then go check that out, because it's very impressive. It's been like 20 years or something since that song came out.
Was this recently she was on there playing
like
it?
Very recently. And it's like an acoustic thing, and she belts. She's, on point. So,
I don't hear that name much these days. I assume she just kind of hung it up. She made her Jagged Little Pill money, and she's good.
I mean, we
still like have that room to breathe and that comfort. It's like I could fall back on my Jagged Little Pill money if I need to. Just like go off and try some stuff, or
I think
keep making music or whatever she's been doing. Just not really in like I guess she's kind of unfortunately consigned to the 90s and will always be.
I think you're very right about that. I don't know if she could ever come. Well, she probably could come back with something. Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome if she did. Yeah. But
now's the time.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that only you and I referenced Alanis Morissette as jokes. My dad was huge into that CD, and I didn't realize it when I was 9, but the lyrics are I don't know, a little sexual, the kind of music that you wouldn't assume a dad would listen to with young children in the car. But shouts out to Pops, Operation Randy. Shouts out, dude, because
Greg LeMond up in the house.
Greg LeMond. Yeah, because I was exposed to Sheryl Crow, the likes of Alanis Morissette, and all sorts of reggae music. Unidentifiable reggae music. So.
Did your dad have a collection of CDs in his car?
He must have.
Like a binder, or did he just have like 5 or 6 that he would rotate out, or just the same 5 or 6 in there at all times?
I feel like we listened to a lot of the same music, but then we also listened to a lot of national public radio, pop radio stations for the kids.
Okay.
But I do remember he had a Volkswagen that was pretty swag that had the 6-changer CD in the back, so he would hook it up before starting the car, and then that's what we'd roll on. So, yeah. But he did keep, as I don't know if he has it anymore, and I don't blame him if he doesn't. But for a long time, he had White Shibby in the door of his car. Which,
Can you explain what white shibby is real quick?
yeah, I'll give it a quick rundown. White shibby, when I was 15, a sophomore in high school, my stepbrother, Aaron, our friend Rich, and our friend Cameron. So I was a sophomore, 15. The rest of them were 14 or 15, but they were freshmen. We created a rap group in high school, and it was Gooby, and it took about 2 weeks to do everything, and we made CDs and sold them in school, which probably isn't legal, but no one
Especially
stopped me.
considering the content.
Yeah, especially considering the content, but nobody stopped us, and friend Kevin, shouts out to Kevin, probably never going to listen to this, but he paid in all quarters. That was dope. But yeah, other than that, well, we each made $80. So
That's not bad.
Yeah, I reinvested into the next album. That didn't happen. Aaron and Rich walked with their 80 smartly. But
Probably shoes.
there was another song that Cameron and I did together later.
So awesome, dude. Huh.
Yeah. So, yeah, Cameron and I made that Zookeepers song for fun, just the one, a handful of years later. It's pretty fun, but
What were some of the other names you guys were tossing around for that? Wasn't it like Abe and the Two Tall Top Hats? Wasn't that one of
Abe
them?
Lincoln and the Two Tall Top Hats. Okay, that was actually Rich's suggestion for our Wi-Fi signal name.
Ah.
Actually, I think it was our Wi-Fi signal name, but it may not have fit all the way. So I think it may have just been the Two Tall Top
Did
Hats.
you do Abraham Linksys instead?
Did not. No.
Somebody did that. One of our friends.
It's a pretty solid one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anytime that there can be some sort of creativity in making a name, I love it. Except when it comes down to naming this thing.
Because you have to stick to it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm fine with that. I've used that cold shower name for a lot of stuff for a long time. I think Josh knocked it out of the park with Food Nap Time because that's been...
But there's always the option for having like a gamer tag or a Wi-Fi network that you can change it down in the future, so you don't have to stick to it. It's like, we'll just name it that. This, it's like, kind of have to stick to it, because if we get to a point where we do get enough people watching and listening to this, we can't just switch it up. Different name. And I guess we could.
Speak for yourself, nerd. But
start my own podcast.
so I got the cold shower on the pipes, you know. I got the ink on the pipes. It'll never leave. It's forever. But I do like take all the credit. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
God, saying things are fun that aren't actually fun is such a dad move.
That's fun.
Yeah, I started saying it because I was making fun of my dad. Shouts out to Operation Randy again. Number 2, hitta. Because he would say, like, oh, that shirt is fun. Like, well,
Is it fun?
it's not doing anything, Dad. but yeah, I mean, shouts out to Randy. Love you, Pa.
Do you have any big bicycle rides or races coming up?
He's usually doing them. He told me that he rode the Calhaven Trail with a friend of his who's like 74 recently, which is badass for both of them. I mean, really badass for the 74-year-old guy. But yeah, my dad's still out there crushing miles, but I don't think like nothing on the scale of riding cross country like you did before.
Yeah.
Or mostly cross country.
That was fucking
You wanna
crazy.
be a dick about it.
How long did that take? He rode from Kalamazoo to Seattle?
Yeah. Yep.
How long? Was that a whole summer?
It took a while. Yeah. I feel like it was. I feel like it was at least 2 or 3 months. I could be off. I know he knows for sure. But yeah, I just don't quite remember. I just remember seeing like the blog he had uploaded. He would like send information to my stepmom. Shouts out to Linda. What up? What up? And she would upload it onto a blog for him. So that was cool to keep up with.
Yeah. He did he have like panniers? Like had his camping gear like all hanging off of his wheels, like that kind of thing, or was he just like staying in cabins and shit along the way?
Occasionally he would stay somewhere, but for the most part, I think he was camping. So he packed all his stuff and. Damn. Yeah, I would have lied. I would have hitchhiked my way out there.
Find stock photos from different towns along the way, like, oh wow.
Yep, and I would just
Fargo is looking great.
Crop myself into it.
Just poorly, like Microsoft Paint cropped in.
The exact same photo of me cropped into all of these.
Just blatantly lying to your children, and you know it, and they know it. But
proof that I wasn't
really
there.
Commit to it.
Prove it.
You weren't there, nerd.
Yeah.
Fucking
I
pussy.
didn't see you there.
Your bitch ass twig thighs couldn't make it anyway. Imagine Randy saying that to you.
Yeah, not anymore, but
Not after I kicked his ass. And I'll tell you what else. Kicked my own dad's ass.
Listen up, Dad.
Did I've told you about the time that my dad told me to punch him in the face, right?
I don't know.
Really? I never told you this story?
You probably did, but you know me.
Well, there was one night that we were out bowling. Whatever that place is across from the airport back home.
Airway Lanes.
Airway Lanes. Shout out to Airway Lanes.
Shout out to Airway Lanes. Now you guys
Sponsor
know where
this
we're from,
podcast.
kind of. Vaguely. Yeah, sponsor our podcast. We'll tell people about the add-on section you did, the bar. That's pretty cool. But I'm not going to say any more until you give us some coin. Like some coin.
Bitcoin. So there was this one night at the bowling alley. It was my dad, my stepmom, and myself. And I can't remember who else was there. I think it was like a bunch of my dad's buddies, or I don't know if it was just the three of us. I can't really remember. But a lot of beer was had that evening.
But a lot of beard was had as well.
Oh yeah. I want to say I was like 13 at the time.
Good age to punch your dad in the
Ish.
face, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember us getting back to the car after we were done, and I'd seen my dad drunk a few times after I realized like what drunk is and what drunk looks like. I mean, I'd definitely seen it before I realized that. I always just thought my dad was like, you know, like
Just
what any kid
chilling.
would think when they see a
Yeah.
drunk person, like, oh, like they're acting really weird and fun.
Yeah.
And we got back to the car, and I remember realizing when we got back to the car, because he was just like fumbling with the door handle and like trying to hoist himself up into the car, and I was like, oh, I got you, because it was kind of hard to tell when he was bowling, because he's just such a natural bar game person, especially when he's drinking, like darts, pool, bowling, just all fluid motion.
Oh, yeah. I remember playing them in darts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kick the shit out of anybody.
Butt darts.
Butt darts. Oof. The most dangerous game. We got back to the house, and I remember my dad plops down on the couch, and we didn't even have the lights on yet. It was like, Nicholas. Like, yeah, Dad. It's like, you know, you've never punched me in the face. I was like, yeah. You're right. I haven't. Like, come on. What the fuck are you talking about right now?
I gotta get my
Like,
rocks up.
punch me in the face. Like, Dad, you're drunk. I am not going to punch you in the face. That's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. I'm not doing it.
That's
And
nice
I'm
that you
backing out.
identified
Like,
that.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
He's like, no, come on. Just come on. Just right in the face. Just punch me in the face. And it got to the point where we were yelling at each other. He's like, Nicholas, punch your father in the face. Oh my God. I was like, I'm not doing it. And I storm off into my room. Just slam the door.
Slam it in my face. Just laying outside your door.
I haven't talked to him about that since then, I think.
Wow, really?
Maybe I've brought it a couple times.
I'm
but
surprised. I don't remember this. I think that would
I
come
feel
up
like
a lot.
I had to have.
He
shared
probably
that with you
have
at some
told me,
point.
but I feel like that's something I woulda, shoulda, coulda remembered. Wow, that's immaculate. Yeah, I don't have any stories like that.
No, I can think of one. I remember the time that you told me about you. Your dad wanted you to show him wrestling moves.
Oh, yeah. So I guess that's fair.
He wasn't drunk, but still, it's like beating up your dad.
Yeah, that's true. And we used to like play fight, but yeah, this one example, my dad was at the time, he was not very happy with the boss he has. This was like many years ago. He doesn't work there anymore by any means or anything like that. But the boss he had at that time, when I was a little boy, he did not get along with her. And he was telling me about this, or just kind of openly talking about it a lot at that time. We were hanging out in the kitchen, and I don't know where this came from, but as you could tell from the beginning of this podcast, I have been a fan of professional wrestling and was as a kid and proved it on one fateful day. My dad was talking about his boss in a negative light, and I said, you should give her the pedigree. Now, any of you wrestling fans out there are already standing up out of your seats, probably standing on your seats and applauding. And I appreciate that. Thank you. But if you could just hold your applause for one moment, I'll get through the rest of this. So I said you should give her a pedigree. And he said, what's a pedigree?
By the way, it's exactly what Randy Button sounds like.
The operation.
Not at all.
So he said, what's a pedigree? So I helped him out. I did a little educating that day. I taught him the Triple H's finishing move. Head in between my knees, lifted his arms up behind his back, and drove his head into the kitchen floor. He was not happy, but he asked for it. And my future at that time was pretty much glitter and gold in a wrestling outfit. So I thought this was just like my chance to showcase skills. So yeah, drove his head into the floor.
Also, if nobody out there can really see the picture that's being painted here, just get on YouTube and look up, like pedigree compilation. You'll get a pretty good idea of what happened to Eli's dad that evening.
Yeah, or ask any of the other people who are standing on their chairs applauding right now. They'll tell
Ask them for a pedigree.
Yeah. Or don't. Yeah, if you want to save your forehead, definitely don't ask for a pedigree. But who am I to judge?
So what did he say? What was the first thing he said after you gave him the pedigree?
I don't remember. I was young.
Was he just like spitting mad like
No. No, I want to say that he was like laughing but upset.
trying to
but
show
he knew
trying to hide his pain.
he asked for it. Like It's like, okay, I can't have whatever 7, 8, 9-year-old kid ask him to do a wrestling move on me and think he's not gonna commit, because it's all part of the game. You want to know what it's like.
Well, I'm sure his understanding, like most people, is that it's all
About
a
the
bit
game.
of a charade.
Yeah.
They're not like whoever Triple H is pedigreeing isn't getting like the full force of it. I feel like it's probably his shins or his knees or something that's taken.
That I think that's
The
the
brunt of
magic
it.
method that I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
You
not
overcommitted.
grasp on yet, because I had these little 6, 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old tiny twig legs
Yeah.
capturing an adult
The weight
skull.
of a fully grown man.
Yeah. Yeah, his head probably weighed more than my legs at that time, so it was gravity doing its own thing. Yeah,
Cruel mistress, that gravity.
it really is.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Nick? Should we wrap her up?
I think we should wrap her up.
Yeah, I'm beyond bedtime
Yeah.
for you, boy. So, yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
I think we should do this more, and at least if people are paying attention to it. Otherwise, we shouldn't do it at all.
Well, persistence. If nobody pays attention to it for the first 6 years, I say we give up.
Okay, deal. We just got to have that name. So, again, reminders to anyone who may be still listening for whatever reason, send in artwork or audio. Like, send in some music you make. That'd be awesome. As you could tell, the video stuff didn't really work out so well in this episode, but that's because I just wanted to jump on it and didn't have sufficient time to charge these cameras, but whatever. We'll get it figured out and try to make it better next time. We're going to have some issues. I think we're going to have some issues with the camera that I have with recording video, but whatever, guys. Whatever. If you listen to us, you might catch a fart. You might laugh a little. You might stand on your seat and applaud.
Yeah.
You might send money for chairs to replace the squeaks.
You might be inspired and start your own podcast.
But don't ask me about it.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of research on my own to figure this out. So
Don't ask us for advice.
Yeah. Nick won't respond to you anyway.
Yeah.
So, so don't bother. With that said, though, if you guys like what you hear, just holler at one of us, and we have the capability to get friends on phone calls and stuff like that. So if you want to be on and chat with us or giggle or something,
Or if you want to fly out to us, or drive out to us, or walk, or crawl.
yeah, if you're anywhere near the Rocky Mountains and want to make a trip, come on our way. Yeah, with that said, dude, we
mic
should
up one of these other mics here that we got.
Yeah,
I got.
we should do this in like outdoors sometime. We could do this like in the mountains even
Yeah.
with this stuff.
Yeah.
It would be easy enough to just like post up somewhere and record outside. So we don't even. I mean, we don't really need
Yeah, I guess we
this
don't.
though. Like we can make it
Huh.
work with that. So
Wow.
yeah, just an option.
The
So,
world is our clam.
Yeah.
Our briny, unshucked clam.
Are there pearls in clams or just oysters?
I think
No.
just oysters. I
Okay.
don't know. On that note.
Yeah. Anything closing, Nick? Anything you'd like to say or promote or fart again or anything?
I got nothing right now. I think a fun thing to do is maybe if people have old clocks that they don't want or need anymore, maybe send them to us and we can feature those on the show once we get the video portion of this hooked back up, and we can just have a bunch of clocks set to 316 in honor of one of our favorite wrestlers, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I'll
out to
admit
Stone
that
Cold Steve Austin.
shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin and 316, but that I feel like it might get a little crowded in here if we
No,
start.
I mean like all at the same. I don't mean all the same. Like, take this one out. put one there.
Oh,
Just
okay.
different
Oh,
clocks.
okay. Yeah.
So
So
have
if you
shit
want to,
changing in here all the time.
if you want to send us a clock
Some
that
stuff
we'll
to put on the
that we'll
walls.
probably use once or twice and then donate.
Yeah.
For real, send that our way. But yeah, artwork like pictures and stuff, we could post it on the walls around here. Or
We'll set up a P.O.
Set
box so
stuff
none
up.
of you fuckers know our real address.
that's a good idea. Or just contact us directly, and if we like you enough, then maybe I will tell you, 'cause we rent here and we won't be here forever. So
Put whatever pipe bombs you want in here after we're out of here.
okay. All right. Well, you heard it from Nick. Send your explosives our way. Just kidding. Don't do that because we don't want that.
No,
not
really.
All right. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
I look forward to the next time we do this.
Yeah.
And
Very soon.
hopefully I'll get this on the internet soon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, till next time, I'm Eli.
I'm Nick.
That's Nick. And we don't have a name for this yet. So, hasta luego.
Hasta luego.